a few things that I bet you chances are you'll find something that will save countless hours of pain, misery, stress, and will make you more confident, especially for those people who feel that their level of confidence in treasure fund is 3 or 5. I want to take it 3 or 4 notches up so that I feel confident, that you feel confident on the company. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to teach you a method of value chain. So we're going to sketch out a system to prove yourself that you understand how treasure fund works. So that's why I'm saying you have to have your pen, paper ready, no phones. You're not going to type or you're not going to record me. You will actually write something on paper and pen. And I think Katrina is driving. Katrina, you have my blessings and, of course, an excuse. You will not write. You're driving. I can see you driving. So just listen. And then later on, you can do the activity on the replay. So one of the biggest concerns right now, everybody was waiting for June 2nd announcement. June 3rd, okay, there's going to be something. And we all expected something. We had a hardcore expectation from the company. Company's going to do this. Company's going to do that. We just assumed, and we just had an, not a realistic expectation. First and foremost, I want to tell everybody, company is doing the best for not only themselves, but for everybody. And I'll prove it to you and I'll show it to you. So just hang tight. Just let's go do some activity and let's prove it to ourselves that we understand this activity and what the value chain is going to be. So I'm going to open up my board because I'm going to do the activity with you guys. I'm going to show you how this all works. So everybody has pen and paper ready. What we're going to do is we are going to write down on the very top of your sheet the word who. Everybody write down the word who. This will be a very interesting exercise for everybody. Okay, so here's my pen. So the very first we're going to write on the top. So everybody can see my screen? Yes, okay. So we're going to do on the very top. So this exercise is going to go from top to bottom, okay? So who is this business for? Write down your name. It's for you. You, the user, right? We all joined Treasure Fund for ourselves, right? First for me, then the family, right? Then for loved ones or team members. So when I say on the very top, if you can see my screen, it says who, and it says who as an example is the customer, right? So who is the customer? The customer. So I'm going to write my name here. Gagan. So you will write your name. That's the step 1. Step 1 is who on the very top. Then underneath who, you're going to write a benefit. And that would be what? So in treasure fund business, what was the value or what was your need that was met, the benefit that you got by joining? So what was the benefit? Was it passive income? Was it easy money? Was it 4 clicks and the ease of making money? Was it staking? What was it? Just write down the benefit. Was it passive income that you looked at it? Was it more money? What was it? What was the benefit that attracted you? Was it because it was a Web3 project and you had more understanding of Web3 project? What was it? So I need you to think about the benefit. Why did you join? And if you joined during the March promotions where you put in 255 USDT and it doubled immediately, maybe that was your what, you got that activity. So write down one activity that you performed on the second category. Now, the third one you're going to say right here is going to be how. How are you getting that, let's say, passive income? How are you getting those referral rewards right now, right? So what is the activity that you have to perform? Because you wrote your name on the top. You didn't write my name, right? You wrote your name, right? On the very top, where the who is. Okay, so now I'm going to show you an example, and then I'll stop sharing my screen. I'll go back to my board. So here is what the value chain system actually looks like. So on the very top, we write who's, then we write what's, and then we write how's. And it's not only in one straight line, it can have its stems, but it always starts with who, the customer, the stakeholder. So we are the customers. I started Treasure Fun or Treasure NFT because I wanted to participate in it. It was so simple to have a compounding daily growth of my income that I just fell in love with it. And the more I did it, the more I loved it. The more I did it, the more I loved it. And then when the white paper came, rest is history. So the trick for this statement, what are we creating? We're creating a value chain. The trick that you have to use when you're connecting these chains, which is who to the benefit, and the benefit, which is like what, to the activity, the how, you have to add the word depends on. And it has to be in a statement. Does that statement feel good? That's your inner knowing. So for example, I'll give you an example. So let's go look at that example, and then I'll share my example with you. For example, we want to be a good business leader in our life. A business leader, an effective business leader depends on, let's say, time management. Example. Time management will depend upon delegation. Delegation will depend upon outside coaching. That's just an example of a value chain. Let's take another example. Let's say a doctor. A doctor depends upon patient history or seeing the patient. Seeing the patient or the patient history will depend upon electronic records. Electronic records will depend upon writing notes or somebody typing in the notes. It can depend upon list of medications that the patient has. It can also depend upon privacy HIPAA laws. So that becomes a value chain. So a doctor needs to be very clear of the bottom line right here, which is the activity, which is how. So we connect these aspects and we create a value chain. Let's take another customer example who goes and uses a cafe or let's say a coffee shop. So the customer depends upon the coffee or the coffee shop, and the coffee depends upon how it's brewed, depends upon how it's grinded. It also depends upon how it's poured. It also depends upon how the customer is serviced. So these are some examples of value chain examples. So now I'm going to stop my sharing, and I'm going to talk about this exercise on my board. So you can see that I wrote down my name on the very top, which is who, and the benefit.